You know, a pro tour starts at 12 o'clock. You've got plenty of time to get up, have your breakfast, go to the gym, or have a swim, or whatever it is you want to do, and keep your body in shape before you're going to go and play darts. We're both well aware that playing for 6-7 hours in a day, it's a lot of stress on the body.
4 and 4, 44, episode 44. In my bingo call there, Andy. And hopefully today, the fire alarm's not going to go off because we're not filming this on a Wednesday like we have done the last couple of times, which means we normally get disturbed by high-pitched noises.
As this goes out, people will probably be sat watching the World Cup. It's the World Cup this week as we're filming, so they'll probably be watching it. Hence why it's behind me, Matt. Although it's not really, but you can tell that. Another busy week.
I'm looking forward to the World Cup because it's one of my favourite events of the year. I've done a lot of preparation and research for this because, you know, I've been down Sky Sports again. I tell you, I'm getting some good gigs with them, aren't I? I did the Premier League preview for Sky. I've done the World Cup preview and I'm doing the World Cup review. I've got a couple of potential upsets there as well, which we'll go through those and we'll see how close we are with this. And yeah, I've got some good bits. In fact, I've just noticed. I
hope so, because do you know what? Everybody I've asked. Everybody I've asked has gone, well, it's over, isn't it? England win it, don't they? That's simple as that. You know, England win it.
We'll get into this, shall we? Let's get into this. I'm going to see how close I am. So one of them, I thought I was a genius, right? So I was looking at the group stages and I was going, what groups could we have a seeded team that don't get through? And I looked at Group I, USA, and I thought, Daniel Albi is not strong enough to carry that team. And Jules Van Dongen is playing with the opposite hand. So he's got dartitis and he's going to play left-handed.
Yeah. And that's the best they could come up with. Couldn't they drag Darren Young out of retirement or Larry Butler or somebody?
There's loads of quality players in America, but Jules is a tour card holder, so he gets the right. And he's took it. And, you know, so it's interesting. He's playing left-handed. Never played left-handed in this sort of environment before. If he averages between 60 and 70, I'll be impressed. So Hong Kong looks solid there. And I thought, great, I found Hong Kong. This can be brilliant. They're odds-on favourites. Everyone else has picked up on it as well. So that's one seed I think will get beaten. Group H, Austria, which is not the runners-up of last year, Roby John and Mensah. It's Rusty Jake and Mensah. Spain and Australia, Damon Heta and Simon Whitlock. Wouldn't be surprised to see Austria get beat.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Group G, the seeds are Sweden. They've got Lithuania and France. Darius Labanauskas, Thibaut Trakal, good captains there. So that could be one.
But Sweden have got a Dutch player playing for them. So that'd be an interesting one, won't it?
The biggest upset of them all would be if Belgium didn't. Now, Mission's Mike De Decker partnering with the returning Dimitri Vandenberg.
Oh, he's on my list of things to talk about today, Matt. We'll get to him in a bit. Unless you want to go into it now.
Philippines are good.
Philippines. Yeah.
Dangerous team. That wouldn't surprise me if they went out there. I think some of the bottom seeds have got good draws. Croatia, Czechia and Finland. They could have had some dangerous players in their groups, but they've got like New Zealand, Argentina, India, people like that. So I think they might be okay. But my one to keep an eye on, my big outsider, Poland.
Yeah, Christoph. Who's he partnered with?
Radek Skaganski.
Oh, yeah, good player. Good player.
Pro Tour winner.
Yeah, good player. Who is Germany? Is it Petrescu and Clemens? No, Schindler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll gel. You know, it's all about gelling. It's doubles. So it's about gelling, isn't it, as a team, as we've seen before in the past. Look, where did Austria come from last year? You know, I mean, to get to the final. So, yeah, it's about gelling. But you mentioned Dimitri, so I have to now put this to you. But look, you're doing a bit of your job, doing a bit of looking into research and analysis. And as far as I can tell, Dimitri Vandenberg is not in the World Match Play. He's not in the World Grand Prix. He's not in the Players' Championship. And he's not in the Euro Champs. The only thing right now that Dimitri you are going to see on TV is in the World Championship in December. Now, what's that going to do to his ranking?
Okay, there's a couple of things to this. So I'll start by answering the question. What's it going to do to his ranking? If you're going to have a bad year, this is the year to have a bad year. You can get away with it. The reason you're going to get away with it is because next year the prize money jumps up so significantly that you can make up the shortfall. So if you're going like Michael Smith missing out, if he does miss out, it's not the end of the world because next year the prize money goes up massively that actually you can be gaining quite a lot. So the change in prize money next year could save some people's careers. At the same time, it could ruin some. Because if you had a bad year next year when everyone's earning higher amounts, you're going to get swamped very quickly. So there is a bit of leeway in it this year. Now, when we have a look at the situation of Dimitri van den Bergh, I'm obviously not going to disclose what I know and what I don't know, but there is a lot going on with Dimitri van den Bergh, which is things I couldn't even comprehend having to deal with.
Yeah. Let's just say it's not physical. It's not physical. It's outside of the world of darts.
And with that, I don't know how you can put your mind onto something like darts at a professional level anytime in the near future. To the way he plays the game with focus, and to do that, you can't have everything else that's going on. So I think there's a lot. I worry for Dimitri, not because of the rankings, like you said, because I think you can get away with that. I worry for Dimitri van den Bergh in the fact of, and he's quite a sensitive guy as well. I've known Dimitri quite a lot of years. I think there's going to be a situation here where, like we were talking about Van Gerwen, maybe not going back to his best. Do we even see Dimitri ever commit to the full tour in the short term? I don't think so.
No, and it's a shame because I sort of saw a bit of Belgian rivalry coming with Mike De Decker moving up the rankings, who's the number one, and that can only be good for the two of them, and they'll probably room together and maybe, they chat and sit and be egging each other on. And you've been in that position. I've been in that position. There's nothing better than when you've got somebody right at your side and you a bit of that. So I envisaged it being a brilliant next couple of years for both of them, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. And if he does miss all those tournaments, like you say, he has chances next year, but it's going to be a big year next year. I mean, he could fall off a cliff. So we shall see. Whilst we're on World Cup players, we knew who's plays for Scotland. There's an Englishman and a Scotsman, but plays for, we're not getting to that. But Gary Anderson, who I've seen has disclosed he's been injured. Yet another, Matt. I don't know if you've seen it this week, but he's basically admitted at one stage he couldn't even reach the board. His shoulder was that bad. And he's kept it to himself. He didn't want to put it in the public, whatever. People will be sat listening going, yeah, but he's old. Is he? He's my age. He's not that old. Getting injured again. It just takes me back to how you and I would approach the tour differently now if we were doing it. A pro tour starts at 12 o'clock. You've got plenty of time to get up, have your breakfast, go to the gym, or have a swim, or whatever it is you want to do, and keep your body in shape before you're going to go and play darts. We're both well aware that playing for 6-7 hours in a day, it's a lot of stress on the body. We're well aware that it's well disclosed that you injured yourself through doing lots of other crazy stuff, not from playing darts. You got stuck into everything, and I can't imagine wrestling is the best thing for your body.
But again, you're absolutely right. I've been contemplating playing darts again. Like, I don't know what level I can reach. We're going to find out. But I've actually looked at playing. I'm playing the Super Series in October. I've already disclosed that. That's going to be like my first step to seeing what I can do. I'm doing live streams. I'm practicing bloody well. But I mean, you can probably tell straight away. The first thing I'm doing is I am going to get myself in the shape of my life, because I understand that for me to be able to achieve anything further in this, I have to work harder than anybody else. That's the only way I'm going to do it. I have to work harder. I have to turn over more stone zones than other people have to do. And that's just, we talked about limitations and physical changes and things within bodies and stuff, you know, and as you do get older, you do have to consider more things. And I'm at that point now. When you go past 30, there's a lot of things that change, even just down to osteoblasts, osteoclasts, the balance changes there, which obviously affects bones. So there's so many things that you have to consider more. And I think until now, I've not been in a position where I go, I actually want that commitment. Where now I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to see. I'm going to train hard. I'm in the gym near enough every day. I'm dropping weight. I'm building muscle. You could probably see a bit of shape coming in now. You know, it's nice.
I always see it in your face, straight away in your face. You can see you lose your 3 chins disappear and your puffy cheeks, like mine. It's all gone. So you can tell that you've lost weight and you're getting trim and in shape as best you can. Of course, what's definitely going to happen, Matt, is we'll get to a week before Modus and then you'll get injured playing football.
Probably.
So, yeah.
As well now, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, Gary Anderson, one I wasn't aware of. Another one that's been injured. Who knows? While we're talking about the World Cup and while it's behind me, we did a little mention last week saying, look out for a certain Italian player. Well, I can exclusively reveal, so make sure you're subscribed, because those of you that watch the podcast every week will know you get little reveals, we do giveaways, we do all sorts of things, that you're going to see these in the World Cup. Here they're coming up on the screen now. For our audio listeners, you will have to see the video version. Oh,
that's brilliant.
There we go. So those are going to be used in the World Cup and going to be coming out very, very soon, within weeks rather than months, and going to be a very, very interesting dart. I've got other things to show you as well today, but that's the first one. And then while I'm on it, I can get this camera to it, the second one's going to be a new case that's coming out. Now, looks pretty innocuous from the outside, if I can get it in front of the camera. Not a lot going on there. However, once I open it up, and it's kind of then where you think, why have we not done this before? You're going to love this. So, that side, you've got your molded flights. Oh, wrong way. On that side, you got your darts. So you got your darts on one side and your molded flights in the other. Now that we've got you using molded, you can keep it all in one case.
Well, you say that, but,
as well. Have you swapped back?
I'm actually using the retinas, the slightly slimmer ones at the moment. No, slims.
Oh, slim.
Yeah.
Oh, you've gone back to slim. You have actually gone back to slim.
Just having a little go. I mean, I'm not going to have any chance to practice this. I mean, that's the other thing. I'm saying, like, I want to see where I can get with this, but time is not always good either. You know, this week I've done. I was at Sky Sports on Monday. Monday night, I was working with the bookies all night, getting ready for the World Cup. Tuesday, I'm in here filming all day. Wednesday, we're up in Blackpool doing Rate My Hockey. Thursday, we're out filming again. Friday, I'm down at Modus. Saturday, I'm at Modus.
So as a coach, Matt, as a coach like you and I are, if you said to me, can you put a practice routine plan together for me because I'm playing in Modus? Yeah, here you go. Matt, I've done it for you. Now you go, yeah, week 1, I can't do that. No, week 2, I can't do that. So
I don't think it's any better next week either, because I'm at Sky again on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
So yeah, but one thing I am doing is I am going to be reducing my hours in next year. So
not with us. Don't get worried, everybody. Not with Mission.
Well, I'm actually probably going to be doing a little bit more with Mission next year, which is good. But it'll allow me to work a little bit more from home. rather than having to travel to do it, which means, I mean, when I say home, I mean here in the studio. And when I say here in the studio, look what's behind me, a dartboard. So I'm going to be able to actually have some practice and things and put some things together because, do you know what? I fancy winning the Challenge Tour next year.
Well, wow.
Yeah. I fancy winning it.
Wow.
I'm
You've heard that here first. You've heard that here first. Matt, you can't commit to play every Challenge Tour event.
I don't need to.
Oh, you're just winning enough of them. Win a couple and then...
Yeah. I've had enough of it.
Get in the comments below. Is Matthew Edgar capable, having been injured, having hardly played, of going on the Challenge Tour next year and winning it? What do you think, people? What do you think? To be honest, I didn't see that coming, Matt. I didn't see that coming. But anyway.
It might not, but as it stands right now, that's what I'm working towards.
And the funniest thing is, the Challenge Tour starts in February. I make that 9 months away. I've never known you plan more than about 9 days ahead. So 9 months from now, anything could happen. You could be playing professional football for all I know. You know what I mean? Anything can happen in 9 months.
Right. There's a genuine chance that if I do go do this and I do all right, and I get quite high on the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, there's genuinely a chance that 1 week I'll be commentating and the next week I'll be playing. How cool would that be? Never happened before.
That would be cool. Just one thing, though. Please remember to pay your tax.
Oh, my.
Because somebody else... Can you believe this? After the Mervyn Thick King, we've now got Rob Cross.
Two different stories, though, isn't it? One of them going, I forgot to pay it, I didn't realise. The other one looks quite calculated.
Yeah, but look, if you're going to do anything in life, and everybody's done something they're probably not proud of, and might have done things that you probably shouldn't have done. Don't mess with the tax man. My dad always said that, just pay your taxes and then everything else will be okay. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. A world champion, a former world number 2. How can you even take that risk? You can't, Matt. So make sure you pay your taxes, which I know you do. God,
I do. I hate it every year. Yeah, every year,
don't we?
And by the way, every year.
Apologies.
Every year I get it wrong as well. So what I do, I put a little bit away each month. So at the end, so it doesn't hurt me at the end of the year when January comes around. You got to pay it all. Although I pay January and July, I think I get a bill in July for it as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. Which is like a half bill, which works out well because how my sort of structures work. So this is how clever I am, right? So when I negotiate my contracts, I get my bonuses paid in July.
Perfect.
So in July, I end up getting more money than I expected, not less. Because tax bill comes in, my bonus comes in, I take my bonus out of there, and now I've got a little bonus rather than a big one. So I worked that out well. So all my other bits go through in regards to paying it in January. And every year, I always forget that I've earned like more than like I think I have. And it comes round and I put it in and it comes from like, oh no, I've earned more than I thought I did. And then like I look at my tax bill account and it's not enough. So what I probably should do is put more in there, but I'm not that clever.
That's what you need to do. You need to do. So anyway, hopefully that sorts itself out. We're in a bit of trouble, me and you, because a couple of people have been in the comments and going, you've been doing these videos, top 5 players of all time, your top 5, Matt, against my top 5. Remember we did that video? Where's Jockey Wilson? He doesn't appear in any of our videos. Multiple world champion. We've never even mentioned him. So we're in trouble.
Generational, isn't it? Like
it is generational. But I always say Eric Bristow and John Lowe, but I never mention Jockey. So apologies, because yes, he is a legend.
And for me, I never really saw Jockey, so it's tough. Like I say, generational stuff. Like how many? It is a great example, right? So when I was a teacher, I was working at school. If I referenced David Beckham, if I referenced Alan Shearer, they didn't have a clue what I was on about. It meant nothing to them. They don't know who David Beckham is. They don't know who Alan Shearer is. It meant nothing. But yeah, if I say to you, Les Ferdinand, who was a lot further down the pecking order of the same era, you're like, oh, what a striker he was. Played for Newcastle, played for Spurs, QPR. You know all these things. Whereas, because it's generational.
Yeah. Like I said, do you remember Stanley Matthews?
Yeah, I know of him, but I can't appreciate how good he was in comparison to other people because I didn't live through that era. So, like Jockey Wilson, yes, I can understand how good he was, but I didn't live through the comparison of how good he was to other people. The same way, I tell you what, right, it is a great point. Maybe a bit of a sidebar, but it's a good introduction to it. We were talking about the England team at Sky Sports when I was down there working. Don't know if I mentioned that yet. And I said, isn't this the best World Cup team ever? Right. And people listening now will be like trying to run to the comment section. Before you do that, hear me out. Before you call me recency biased and all this type of thing. When have we ever had a World Cup pairing that is as dominant in the world of darts as this, as a pairing? We've had great rivalries over the years. Phil Taylor, Dennis Priestley, Phil Taylor, John Part, Phil Taylor, everybody, all these different rivalries. However, and then it went to Michael Van Gerwen. All these rivalries have not really been rivalries. For example, Phil Taylor was always, this person could beat Phil Taylor, but they don't really. They beat him maybe 1 in 10. But this is his biggest, this is the person who's going to lay down the biggest challenge. With Littler and Humphreys, every time they play, it's not this person could beat them. It's going to be a 50-50 split for titles, where it's a genuine rivalry, where one of them's not up here and the other one's like the closest of the chasing pack.
100%.
And between the pair of them meeting on this level, that level is so far above the chasing pack, and then you're going to put them as a pairs. These two will win everything between them. Where before we've had one player win everything, and then one player maybe win one thing a year, and this is the biggest rival. We have got the two biggest players in the world of darts. And the difference now, we're not comparing eras. We're not going, is this pairing better than Taylor and Lewis? What we're saying is, in the dynamic of the world of darts, was Taylor and Lewis that much better than everybody else, as Littler and Humphreys are above the rest of the chasing pack? And you remove Michael Van Gerwen from equation, this is the best we've ever seen.
Taylor was, but his partners never. Yeah, I understand what you're saying exactly. And do you know what's exciting? Is they're both young lads. Humphreys isn't very old, is he? This could be a rivalry for quite some time. That's what makes it exciting. And you're absolutely right. If we're sat here in a month's time, World Match Play final, Humphreys versus Littler, I have no idea who's going to win. Whereas if you'd said, it's Taylor versus whoever it was at the time, it didn't really matter. Taylor's going to win. Taylor would be 1-8 or 1-10 or something like that. This is going to be, who the bookies put favourite? Probably both going to be even money or whatever they do, 5-6 or whatever. Because it's that time. Yeah, that's a proper rivalry. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. And do you know what? You've led me on to a couple of questions. You always come up with a game that I can't do. And this isn't a game. It's just a couple of questions just to see if you know the answer. So, who had the first ever 100-plus average in a world final? Do you know the answer to that?
I'm guessing it's not going to be Taylor because it's...
The clue is it isn't Taylor.
Yeah, because it seems too obvious. So the first 100-plus in a world final, are we talking both codes?
You can have both codes, yeah. That's a clue. It never happened in the BDO. Nobody ever had a 100-plus average in the BDO.
Okay.
In the final.
Let's work through this then. So 1994 wasn't.
Yeah, that's when it started, yeah.
So it wasn't 1994. I'm going to go with... And if it wasn't...
Here, our viewers can absolutely tell we never rehearse stuff like this. We try and catch each other out every single week. And I'm trying to catch Matt out.
I seem to think we're talking like 1999.
Well, you're very close.
It's around that era.
You're very close. I'll give you a clue because I'm very generous. You never give me anything, but I'll give you a clue. He didn't win. That's why I said world final. You have a guess?
It's that late 90s, early noughties. I'm going to go with Raymond van Barneveld.
No, it was Dennis Priestley, who lost to Taylor with 101.48 average. Taylor actually averaged 98 and beat him.
What year was it?
First, 96.
Oh, okay.
He was the first player to ever average 100 in a world final. I thought that's a great question. That I'll catch you up.
Earlier than I thought it was as well.
And I had one other question for you, and this is modern day. Out of the last 10 world champions, so the last 10 in the PDC, who's the only one that didn't average 100 in the final?
Last 10 world champions. So let's have a think who they've been. So we've had Littler.
Please play along at home.
Humphreys.
You can have plenty of time while he tries to work it out. Which player in the last 10 world championship finals is only one player?
Peter Wright.
It is Peter Wright. Well done. He won it twice. One of his wins was 100 plus, but his other one wasn't. I just started looking into this the other day, and I got blown away by how many Taylor had done. I had forgotten he'd averaged 110 in the world final. First to 7 sets and averaging 110. You know, I mean, good blimey. What a player. What a player. I'll finish on this subject of great players of all time and all this sort of thing by saying a special mention to John Lowe for the player that won the World Championship in 3 decades. Won it in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Not sure if Taylor did that or not. Possibly, but that's a pretty special thing as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Name me a player who has played in the 3 iconic World Championship venues: the Circus Tavern, the Lakeside, and Ali Pali.
Well, it's got to be Phil. Got to be Phil.
He's one.
Yeah, it's got to be Phil.
There's a few.
Yeah, Barney. Barney, I would have thought.
Barney,
Circus Tavern, yeah.
Barney, yeah.
Peter Everson, maybe somebody like that. Trying to think who stayed around for a long time. Have you got somebody in mind here? Have you?
There's one that really catches it. So they're the obvious ones, but the one for me that makes it super special is because he won the World Championship in all 3 of those venues. John Part.
Wow. Were his 3 titles in different venues?
Lakeside, Circus Tavern,
Wow. Good shout to John Part then. Good shout out for John Part. Blimey, we've got through the big names today, haven't we? We really have.
I'll give you a story then. We're getting a bit too serious here, aren't we? I'll give you a story.
Yeah, so, story time. Get yourselves comfortable.
So Saturday, I've commentating on the Super Series, and I've stayed in a hotel. I wanted to come back afterwards. I didn't want to stay till the Sunday, so I drove through the night, got back 2:00 in the morning. So checked out the hotel, as you do. Ironed my shirt and everything, hung it up in the car, ready to go. Checked out 10:00. I've gone to the gym. Training in the gym, showered at the gym, done everything there. And then I've gone and met some of the guys because we was going down to Casa Brazil. Meat feast, carve the meat in front of you, have that down me. After I've just belted some weights out, perfect. Lovely. So I've gone to Casa Brazil. I've then gone to a new toy shop. Right, actually, there's 2 parts to this story. So there's a new toy shop in Waterlooville. So we drove to Waterlooville, parked the car. We've got out, we've walked around the town for about 20 minutes, and they've gone, Matt, where is this toy shop? I said, it's in the shopping centre. And they went, but there's no shopping centre here. And I'm like, okay, I'll look on my phone. It's fine. I've looked on it. It was actually in Havant, which was 4.1 miles away. So we've gone back to the car. We got in the car and we drove to Havant. All true story. Well, I was with Henry Deacon. He'll vouch for all of this. So we've drove to Havant. I've gone in there. I've now spent more on this toy shop than I have earned in wages for being there.
Brilliant.
So now I'm not earning any money, but I'm coming back with some toys. So I've got to now try and explain that to the missus.
Yeah, to which Jodie's delighted that there's more toys coming home.
Yeah, I've just spent all that money, so not anything. But that's not the story. The story gets better. So obviously I've been out for the afternoon, so I've got to now get changed. So I've got two choices. I can go, carry my stuff to the venue, get changed in the venue. But no, that was too easy. I'm going to go for the other approach. I'm going to get changed in the car park. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to park my car in the corner because it's like a pub car park. So there's people outside doing bits. There's people outside having a drink and things. So I'll park it in the corner. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the back door and the front door.
Yeah,
so
we've all done this.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm going to stand between the two. I'm just going to get changed there. I don't care. Yep. I'm fine. And then when I get to the venue, I'll do all my sprays. I'll do my hair. I'll get myself ready. But I'm just going to switch my clothes over here so I don't have to carry clothes backwards and forwards to the venue.
Yeah.
So took the shorts off. I'm stood there, got my T-shirt on, stood in my underpants. Now, if you're not familiar with me, I've got my own underpants. I have Matthew Edgar underpants. So they've got my face on them, they've got my name on them, all those sort of things. It's a true story. I've probably got a pair on today. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't have a pair on today, actually, no. I have Matthew Edgar underpants. Okay. Oh, dear. Right, so I'm stood there. I've gone to put my jeans on. I've put one leg in my jeans. Great. As I put my foot down, I've stood on my shorts that are on the floor. Now, as I've done that, the key is in the pocket. It's locked the car. The doors are still open. So it sets the alarm off. Right? Everyone sat there. They tell me, what's going on over there? And I'm stood there in my underpants with one leg like this. So I've gone, right, I need to get my keys out quickly. So I've dropped my trousers now and get my keys. And I've got zips on my pocket. So I'm having to try and undo the zip really quickly to get the keys out so I can turn the alarm off while everyone's looking over at me stood in the car park in my underpants. I'm like, why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah, it's every week, isn't it? It's every week. The podcast listeners must think, this guy's life is just a crazy world. No, it really is. I mean, I'm going away filming with him for 2 days, and something like this will happen. It's not is something silly going to happen? Something will happen. It's a certainty.
Everywhere we go, like, how do I do that? Everywhere we go, something happens. Like, yeah. and you're just like, Matt, how do you keep walking into these situations? I don't know. I don't know.
You don't do it on purpose. It just happens to you. It just happens to you. Oh dear. Anyway. I can't beat that story, but I've bought something myself this week. How about these? So you know I like a game of golf. See if I can get this on screen. Is that going to show or not?
That's wonderful, that is, yeah.
That's brilliant. Right. There we go. Right, if I open it up, what do you think's inside?
I've got no idea. I could barely see what it was on the outside. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, here we go. This will get it. I get this.
Golf ball with a dartboard on it. That's amazing.
It's got darts on it, and
wow.
The number on it is 501.
Oh, fantastic.
They're a special edition golf ball. So of course I've put it in the group to everybody that I've got some, and now when they find them in the trees, they can hand them back in. They know they're mine because nobody else uses them.
How much did they cost you?
Oh, you don't want to know. Golf balls are expensive, Matt. Right, there you go. So here's your quiz question for the day. How much is a premium golf ball? So if you're going to the golf club now, I'm going out for a game, I'll get a pack of 3. How much is a pack of 3 of decent golf balls?
15 quid.
Yeah, it is 15 quid. Yeah, there are 5 each now for a golf ball. I wonder how much they're costing to make in China. Not 5 quid each. I know that. Good God. Anyway,
I'll tell you what, right? So I've got this is the other problem. I'm probably going to end up going to Havant quite a lot now because the guy worked me a great deal for the stuff. And this is the thing, right? I've not told you this yet. I've been looking for the 1980s Turtles sewer layer for a long time. And although I'm a collector, I'm also a value collector. Like if something's worth 300 quid, I don't want to pay 300. If I pay 250 for it, I'm happy. Like, I always like to try and work a deal with it. Like, as most collectors
You've
do.
told me this before. If something was £11 and you only wanted to pay £10.50, you're not buying it unless you can get it for £10.50. You told me that before. You're walking away instead of paying the extra 50p.
Yeah, because that's the fun of collecting. That's the fun of the hunt. Yeah. The hunt is to get it for a little bit of value as well. And I've gone in there and he's got this sewer layer. And he's only got a little shop at the moment. And he's got this sewer layer. And I know I wanted it. I saw it. And I knew I wanted it. And I asked him to get it out. We had a look at the box. I had a look at the contents. It was complete. The stickers.
So give me a bit of background, Matt. Is this an old? How old is this toy? It's not something that's been reproduced. This is an original, is it? From
36 years, yeah. 36
wow.
Years. Yeah.
Oh my God! Right.
And you wanted it. Now, the last one I saw was at the Toy Fair in Birmingham at the NEC. They won the 325 quid because it was immaculate. So I've seen it and I've clocked it and I'm like, right, this is going to be anywhere from about 225 to 275. And the guy's got it all out and then he goes, look, he goes, I'm going to level with you. He goes, I'm a small shop. It's taken up a lot of space and I've sat on this for a few months. He goes, so I want it gone. He goes, so I'm going to offer you a price today that I don't think you're going to refuse. And he goes, you can have it for 150.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Please tell me you didn't haggle him. Please.
Oh, no, I played it cool. I was cool as anything. Now, if you go for a loose one, not in the box, you're paying 160 for a loose one.
Wow.
So I got it cheaper than that. So I'm playing it cool. I'm like, yeah, I'll just have a look at it. Yeah, looking at this sort of thing. And then I knew I wanted some other bits as well. So I got some more bits chucked in on it as well. Obviously, I had to pay for those. I didn't get it all chucked in. But and then I worked out. So I put more bits in, and then we worked out a bundle deal.
Oh my
so I ended up getting like 25% knocked off the whole of the bundle deal. So it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, so you're really happy. And then when you turn back at home, what was Jodie's reaction to more turtles?
When I turn up, imagine that in the old days of like paychecks, turn up, oh, you got your paycheck yet? I've got a turtle sewer layer. I've got a WF brocarded figure. Like,
yeah. No, have you got the rent money? No. Yeah.
I've got a problem.
I've got some more turtles. Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
this is your fault. You told me to spend more. Like,
well, yeah, but I kind of meant instead of just spending £1, Matt, spend £10. You've gone instead of spending £1, I'll just spend £1,000 every time I go out. Now it's like Jesus Christ, what's going on? Unbelievable! You've gone from one extreme to the other. It really is unbelievable.
eBay's the thing that killed me.
After the turtles story. Briefly back to the darts. Bo Greaves, 4 titles on the trot. She's turning into something else, isn't she? Should she be playing with the men, Matt?
You'll probably see on social media today. By the time this goes out, it'll probably have cleared by now. But Sky Sports are putting a lot of my quotes out, because I was working for Sky Sports yesterday. And a bit of reflux there from the 7-Up.
Yeah, can't do that on Sky Sports.
No. But you do drink cans of water because you're not allowed any plastic on site. So you have cans of water.
Let's not get into that debate. Jeez.
So yeah, there's. I said the time is now. She's too good for the women's game. Winning it again adds no. Last year, I was 100% world champion again. She needs to build that legacy. I don't think right now in 2025, her winning another women's world championship adds anything to her legacy whatsoever. She'll be 1-16 favourite. She's going to go win it. And do you know what? I'm going to throw this question back at you, but I'm going to present it in a way. Now, I know the deal she's on and some of the arrangements she's got. They're paying a lot of money, her manufacturers.
Yep.
As a brand manager, as an ambassador, if you was taking someone like Bo Greaves, and now this isn't saying this is in her current deal, but if you was to put the level of investment into Bergh Greaves that other people are doing, would you insist she has to go to Ali Pali? Because I would. I wouldn't want her at Lakeside.
Yeah, 100%. You're getting no exposure otherwise. So you're it's almost like Nike saying, right, here's £1 million for our new running trainers, budget marketing, and they go, yeah, we're only putting them in magazines, not going to be on TV. They'd be like, what? Not going to be on TV? Like, it's the same thing, Matt. It's like, you're not going to get any exposure at Lakeside. Therefore, if we're paying you this amount of money, we need you to be seen. We need you to be talked about. We need you to be on Sky. We need, you've got to be everywhere, and you're not going to get that exposure from the PDO. You're not. I know it's not the PDO anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely not. A lot of it's done on streamed. The channels they're on is not as much. The attention's not as much. I think and the other thing is, I think now she's in a position she believes she can win. In the past, it's been maybe she could beat an unseeded player. Can she beat the top 32? She proved at the UK Open she could hang with Luke Humphries. Yeah. Does that mean that she's now confident that maybe she could beat someone like the lower end of the 32, which means she could go on a bit of a run? And let's put it this way. Until previously, it's been a financial decision as well. 25 grand for going there, and she's getting more than 25 grand. Yeah. That financial side is covered. This is bonus. This is extra now from what she's been earning before. And she's still above the 25 grand. So I think, and especially when you look at they had a really good product launch with her. They had they had her in the theatre. They had some great cameras. We know the cost of production. To produce that piece of content to announce Bergh Greaves would have been expensive. You're not doing that so she can go play at Lakeside.
No. Somebody asked me the other day, I'll ask you the same question. They said, right, we'll give you can have 6 months. You can practice as much as you want. And at the end of the 6 months, you've got to play Bergh Greaves. It's you against Bergh Greaves. You've got to put £1,000 of your own money in against £1,000 of hers. I said, no, thanks. No, thanks. For the publicity, maybe. But I'm not going to beat her. At my absolute best, it'd have been a good game. But no chance. I mean, would you, Matt, would you want to, you see what she does.
I'm stupid, though.
Well, yeah, I'm asking the wrong person there, Honor, really.
and like you said, though, for the publicity, let's be honest about this. When Glenn Durrant was at the top of the Premier League, who was I targeting the most on socials? Glenn Durrant. And it's like, I'm going to be, I'm going to be completely honest with this. This is the podcast. It's a little bit peel back the curtain. There's a lot of times I've said things, certainly going into a match, like when I would go in to play Michael Van Gerwen at Minehead, for example, in the Players' Championship finals on ITV, on primetime slots. Did I really think I was going to beat him? Absolutely not. But in the interviews, did I give it a little bit?
Yeah,
absolutely. Because Because
why wouldn't you?
For every single one of those people who, then this is the thing, right? So sometimes, your followers know what you're doing. The people that support you, they enjoy it. They actually enjoy you giving it a little bit. It's, oh yeah, we're getting into this, brilliant. And for those that don't understand it, what they're doing is they're paying my bills. Because for those that don't understand it, and for those that don't, they're like, oh, he thought he was going to beat Van Gerwen. I'm now going to go laugh at him now. Because now what you're going to do is you're going to come to my monetized channel and you're going to think you're hurling all these things at me that's bothering me. And while you're doing that, keep watching the adverts, guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I've never gone myself into any game, it was a bit like that back last start of the year when I played in that little knockout thing. Oh, how do you think you're going to do? I'm going to win it. I knew I wasn't going to win it, but I've got to give that persona.
Sometimes
you do get the odd player. Gary Anderson, who we spoke of earlier, likes to play it all down. Oh, I don't really play anymore, don't really practice. Whatever happens, and this, that, and then he goes and wins it as 115 average or something. He kind of does a bit of reverse psychology. But the majority of people would want to be positive going into a game. You've got to be in a positive. So I guess a question that's possibly I haven't asked you before is, where if you gave Bo 2 years isn't enough. So I'm going to say 3 years. 3 years from today on the PDC with a tour card, what ranking does she get to? What's your thoughts? What do you think?
As a ceiling, I'd say top 32.
Okay, but is that? I mean, that's a big area. Does she get to the 16, or is it 16 to 32? I think it's a big ask to get to the 16.
There's a big difference between 16 and 32.
Yeah.
It's not just there is a big class gap between those two areas. I mean, let's just have a look quickly now because I've got my database.
Well, you're talking about getting ahead of Mike Smith for starters because he's 18, 19 or something, ahead of Dimitri, ahead of Joe Cullen.
So let's just be real about it. Now, the thing is with Bo and with anything, when we look at it, we can remember peaks. Bo peaks a lot. She plays a lot. Yeah. So there's always a thought. She's won this. She's hit this 100 average. She's hit this. What does it look like when you collect everything together? Because it's easy to dismiss the bad performances. Now, as a collective, Bo Greaves for a year is averaging 88.90 for a year. Now,
that's interesting. It's lower than I thought.
If we were, exactly, that's what I mean, because you only remember all the great stuff. Now, if we was to put that in a world ranking of averages, that would make Bo Greaves the world number 113. Now, I think she would improve, which is why I think she'd get top 64 within the first couple of years, and I think she'll make the top 32. But what she will do, this is a great podcast topic, she will expose the system for the system being wrong.
Okay. How?
Right. So, Bo Greaves is top of the women's series.
Yep.
That means she will get an invitation to the World Championships and the World Grand Prix, which will give her at least £30,000 on her rankings. If I've got a tour card, I don't get the chance to go to the women's series. I'm 30 grand behind Bo Greaves before she's won a game on the tour.
Yeah.
Now, what's the chances of me keeping my card versus Bo Greaves keeping hers when she's 30 grand head start?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and that 30 grand head start, and she's in 4 major events that any wins is going to, like, if she wins a game at the World Championship.
Extra money.
Yeah. She could keep a card just from those 4 events.
Yeah, extra money.
And then me and her are on the same playing field of the amount of events we've got access to. Yeah. But I'm 30 grand behind.
Yeah, you're right. Again, be interesting to see. We only get one chance at the moment, the Grand Slam. Interesting to see how she does at the Grand Slam again this year. But I cannot believe, Matt, we've got 47 minutes in and we haven't mentioned what is happening in 3 days' time. 3 days from when this podcast comes out will be Wednesday, the 18th of June, 2025, and the launch of Series 4. Rate My Hockey. Make sure you subscribe. I can see you smiling.
We've watched it.
Make sure you're subscribed on the main channel for episode 1. It's a cracker. Series 4.
We've seen it. And do you know what? This is where I'm going to ask our podcast listeners to jump in and join in. One of the things about Rate My Hockey, it can get boring very quickly. We have to be very, very careful with that intellectual property or that programming. Now, the reason it can get so boring is because there's only so many variables in a venue, and we're not going to find something new every time. So on this series, we've mentioned this before, what we've done is we've changed it to the point where me and Andy aren't working together, we're working separately. I have my score, he has his score. So 2 scoreboards. And you're going to decide who you agree with. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Andy on how that venue should be scored? Now, we've got to change that again. Like, that's just Series 4 only. Series 5, it'll go back to how it normally is, where it's me and Andy going to one score line, which will keep it fresh again. But Series 6, at the start of 2026, we need new concepts, ideas, categories. So we are brainstorming that as it stands for Series 6. So if there's any category you'd like to see, if there's any new concept that you think might be interesting.
Or any venues, Matt, that we've missed. Any absolute classic, amazing new venues that we've missed. Yeah. Get in YouTube at missiondarts.com. and I'll get back to you, because you're absolutely right. We've got to keep changing it. We've got to keep it fresh. We want new ideas. And whilst we still do have a long list of venues, I'm sure there's some we've missed.
But here's my concept, and this is where I think we go with Series 6 before we go abroad. This is where I think we go. I know you're not overly keen, but I think it'd still work. I think we do Rate My Hockey Super League Edition, where what we do, we come to your venue and we want you to set it up like it would be on Super League night, and we will do Rate My Hockey Super League venue. Now, Andy doesn't believe this will work for the reason of people have got to set it up. Are they going to set it up at 11 o'clock in the morning and take it down without a match on and everything? And is it going to be like Super League night? But that's where I think we need to start finding people who are willing to set their venue up as a Super League night, and we're going to come do Super League edition. Then we can go into
and they need to bear in mind that, we might be coming at 12 lunchtime. So it needs to be ready. We can't come, if your Super League's at 7 p.m., we can't come at 6:30. It has to be ready in advance, or the day before, or whatever it is. So, if you think that's suitable, maybe there's some venues, Matt, that have already got a board ready, set up for Super League. It's all there. This is where we have our Super League. All we do is Auntie Deirdre comes in, she swaps the board over for the mission board for Super League. Everything else stays the same. That room doesn't get used for anything other than Super League. Maybe that's a thing, in which case that's easy to recommend.
Yeah, and so that's my take. But if you've got any other concepts on there, do let us know. Now, this is where I think we can do this with our channel, because I think we've got some great listeners. Because we did this on with Modes at the Super Series, was coming up with concepts and new ideas. We opened it up, and just to give you an idea, some of the things we did. We had a Women's Week down there. We had we come up with a Rising Stars Week, which is like a youth week. We're going to have a pairs week, and we open it up and says, if you've got any other ideas or concepts, let us know, and we'll ideas that came in. Upside down dartboard. It's like, I don't think you're quite getting the idea. Put the dartboard on the roof. Oh, yeah, great idea. Put the dartboard on the roof. I'm going to lay down, and if I miss, I get skewered in the face. Yeah,
brilliant.
I don't think people quite grasp the concept of what we're trying to achieve.
Hopefully our viewers will have better ideas, which I'm sure they will, because we get great comments every week, and please do keep them coming. There'll be a comment of the week very, very soon as well. One last thing I wanted to mention, I'm going completely off, but staying on the darts topic, is that somebody else has moved to molded flights, Matt. Somebody in the top 10 in the world. I don't know if you spotted it. I know you don't get a chance to watch the Euros like I do, but Johnny Clayton's gone to molded flights.
I'll get to watch it in Prague. Whee!
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Yeah, you get to watch it then. And it's an interesting one, because I think you and I have talked a lot about molded and folded over the past 12 months. And I've tried to get you on molded, and you've gone back to folded, and blah, 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 blah. Knowing what we know about what goes on, because we've put it all to the test and we've practiced, I'd have thought he'd be the last person to do that. Because of the way his darts already hit each other on a regular basis, I think he's going to get more deflections. They don't sit massively up. They kind of sit flat, and he's a grouper. I think that's a strange one. I know Nathan changed to molded a bit back, and he's done great. Nathan's having a fun. In fact, Nathan's so far up on a lot of the rankings. I was like, wow, he's really having a great year, is Nathan. But Johnny Clayton, I'm not sure about that. My guess is he'll switch back.
Yeah, people are, but experimenting's good, isn't it?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Game time, because we're running out.
Oh, here it is. I thought I was getting away with it, ladies and gentlemen, this week, but apparently not.
We're going to have a game of what can we trick Andy with this week? What can we do?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Matt tricks Andy.
So here we go.
Go on.
Quiz question time. Which dart player on a 1-year tour card, so who won their tour card this year and has another year to go, so they've got lots of time on their system,
Yep.
Who is the highest ranked player according to the tour card race? So who is closest to the top 64 at the end of the year when all the money has been taken off and everything that goes with it?
I think I know it.
Yeah.
So he got his tour card in January.
Yeah.
Is it Nico Springer?
It is. You got one.
Yes! Yes! Finally, after 44 episodes, I've got a good question right. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, and it's only because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his. Obviously, we're, as pundits, as content creators, we're still fans as well. And I like the guy. I like his action. I like his throw. And so I've been following his progress. Wow, I finally got a question right, Matt. Finally, after all this time. It's amazing, isn't it? It really is amazing. So there we go, Nico Springer. Yeah, and somebody definitely that's going to keep his card. There's no way he doesn't get in the 64 by the end of next year, Matt.
Well, what is he
already?
He's only 13 grand away.
Is that all it is already? Yeah, and he's going to... how is he on the Pro Tour Order of Merit? Because that'll get him into stuff, won't it?
I don't think he's in the World Championships as it stands.
What? Oh, well, that's the top 64, isn't it?
No, yeah, he is. Yeah, he's well in. But he's not got his money on the tour card race for some reason. So he's well in. He's like fifth. He got the Euro final, didn't he?
Yeah. He's flying, is Nico. Yeah, flying.
It's not got anyone on, that's why. Because they didn't know what it would be. So, yeah. If he had his World Championship money on as well, he would be 500 quid away.
Yeah, so he's not a problem. And we've talked a lot the last few weeks about, do you remember we did the series on talking about players that had burst in and then disappeared, and lots of people got in the comments, thank you for that, with players. Max Hopp was mentioned the other day. What happened to Max? Still a young lad.
Yeah, no, Max is different.
So, is there a story?
I think there is. And I think it's one that never really got picked up on.
Well, let's finish on this today then. Enlighten everybody about Max Hopp.
Get ready for controversial time.
Oh, heck.
Max Hopp, I don't think ever was the player of the ranking of which he held.
Okay.
I will elaborate. So, I think Max Hopp was fortunate of essentially a postcode lottery. Now, they introduced a rule on the European Tour that the top two players from each nation will automatically be qualified. He was one of the top two German players because there was only two German players on the tour, which meant Max Hopp got invited to 9 European Tour events every year. While people of my sort of stature, players around the top 64 from the UK, we had to go battle it out in European Tour qualifiers. He was in 9 automatically, and then had to go to 4 qualifiers if he didn't get through. So of those 9 qualifiers, and it was... Can
you hear that?
A little bit, yeah. What is it?
Like, what was it last week? DPD delivered. Today, they're cleaning my windows. Right next to me, he's got a massive pole. I'm 3 floors up. Matt. He's got a massive pole and he's cleaning my window. Like, we have the fire alarm at yours. That hasn't even gone off today. No DPD, but he's now cleaning my window with a massive brush and a pole that is ridiculous. Like, trust me, if you fell out of this window, you ain't surviving. It's a long way up. He's cleaning my window. Unbelievable. Right,
so, yeah, 9 European Tours. Now, if he won one game on half of those, that is what? It would have been, 10 grand?
Oh, yeah.
10 grand plus. That then goes on the order of merit for both the Players' Championship and, like for things like the Match Play, the World Championships, all those sort of things. And that's only if he wins half of those games. Then if he qualifies for any by right, so he had a head start every single year. The year he didn't have a head start was COVID. In COVID, there was no German European Tour events. It all stopped. When did Max Hopp start to drive down the rankings? When the European Tour system no longer supported his case to get him into those big events. So I'm not saying he wasn't a good player, because you've got to still cash in on those opportunities. I'm saying he had more opportunities than anybody else.
That's a great explanation. And to me, he's one of those players that was incredibly streaky. So he did have a good A game, but his B game was appalling. Like it dropped off a cliff, didn't it? You know, we talk about some players that are like, oh, how's he staying around the top? Well, his A game's 100 and his B game's 92. You know, he's just there all the time. Max was kind of A game 95, B game 71. You know, it was like, and you can't do that, because you're just going to win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game all the time. And that's the way I kind of assessed him, because so much was said about him, because he came into the game, about 16, was he? He was very young, wasn't he? And very tall. I'm going
to suggest something now. I don't think if you qualify for any event, whether you're invited, how can you invite someone to a ranking event? Yes. Disgraceful. But anyway, I don't think you can have anyone who qualifies for an event or invited to an event via any method that is not accessible to 100% of the tour card holders should count to ranking. We had it in the past, didn't we? Devon Peterson. Play all year, went over. Was it Martin Schindler one year? Missed out on the World Championships, and he had 6 attempts. Because he had like the Players' Championship, he had the German qualifier, he had the youth tour, he had all these different routes. And it was like, how can he have 6? I get 2.
Yeah.
And we're on the same playing field, apparently.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and they did it to Glenn Durrant. When he played the Grand Slam as the BDO World Champion, he was not allowed to claim his ranking money. You could play it, but they said, you're a tour card holder now, you can't use that old ranking system.
Yeah.
I think it should be on everything. If every player doesn't have the opportunity, if I can't go play in the German qualifier, nor can Gabriel Clemens. And if Gabriel Clemens is allowed to, he shouldn't get ranking money for it. He can get his prize money. Absolutely, he should be paid. He played in the World Championship, he should be paid. Florian Hempel did it, didn't he? Recently, got in off a backdoor system.
Yeah.
You can go do it. You can go qualify, absolutely. You get paid, absolutely. You don't get ranking money. Because now, I've got 30 events, you've got 31. Why do you get one more event for me? Because you're German.
And on that rant of the week, Matt, it's been a pleasure as always. Great way to finish.
I'll tell you, I've got a better way of finishing this then. If you want a bigger rant, imagine I'm a talented 20-year-old female from Germany. Oh, what chance have I got of outshooting that? You've got the women's series that's going to get you in the Grand Slam and the World Championships. You've then got all those other events. You've then got the development tour that you can get into the World Championships off of. You then got all the pro tours. You've got your European tours. You've got other qualifiers that I don't have access to. No chance.
Well, on that note, I'm heading to Germany.
German women out there.
I'm going to head to Germany, to find a talented 20-year-old. That's all. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Right, okay. Well, on that basis, I'll see you in the morning for our trip and World Cup finals on. And don't forget, Rate My Hockey, guys. Main Mission YouTube channel, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Don't miss it.